Happy podcast day, Falcon.
Oh, it's almost a song.
Very nearly.
Yes, close, but not quite.
Not quite, no.
About what I expect from you, honestly.
Oh, I don't know if
A
that's
sometimes almost song.
a good... High praise, I think.
I mean, I don't know if it's intended to be such, but if you want to take it as high praise, then you may take it as high praise.
For someone whose vocal talent could best be described as tone deaf, I'll take it.
Deal. You know what? Very reasonable. I like it. Anyway, happy podcast day. Glad you're here. We got Aki singing Down, Down, Down by the podcast in chat. Appreciate that.
Be honest, don't recognize the reference.
Down, down, down by the river.
Down, 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 London town.
How have you played like 100 hours of Baldur's Gate 3 and don't recognize that tune? Because tone deaf, right? We covered this. Okay, there you go. It's a Baldur's Gate reference.
Like, I know I saw someone in Discord refer to it as Baldur's Gate, otherwise known as Bear Sex, otherwise known as Down, Down by the River, right? Like, I understand that.
Yeah.
But it came from Baldur's Gate?
Yes, the opening song when you load the game up is doing that very specific tune. Sometimes it's dudes singing it, sometimes there are women singing it in the game. Just music is just lost to Somicron entirely. He's not someone to go to concerts at all. Nope.
On the menu screen?
Yeah. The tune is dun dun dun.
Right, okay.
Dun dun dun.
The words "down, down, down" by the river is significantly less orchestral than the menu theme is. Like, you can't summarize a symphony with the word "down." I don't think that's fair to it.
I'm kind of just saying everybody else who's played Baldur's Gate knows what that is. So it's you problem.
I feel
it's
bullied.
Not a hockey problem.
I feel bullied. I didn't say it was a hockey problem.
Oh, okay. Good.
Hockey's just the harbinger of this problem.
Anyway, hey, guess what? We did start another playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3.
It's true. We did.
In the name of doing differently, because doing the same playthrough would be stupid.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're having some conflicts about exactly how different should entail.
Yeah, because it seems like you want to do the same thing again. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm feeling.
I mean, considering I was okay with abandoning Lae'zel and not talking to Shadowheart, yeah, I clearly just want to do the same thing again.
You do, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you want to do a little bit different, but not enough different.
Okay, now we're into like subjective terms.
Right. I want to do playthrough 2.0, right? You want to do playthrough 1.20 or something.
I don't know, man. We chose different races and classes. We are running with different companions. We are abandoning people like Lae'zel and Shadowheart entirely.
Well, okay,
we're not going to go talk to Karlach at all. I feel like we're making many different choices.
We're not going to go talk to her at all? That was...
I mean, that was what we were talking about yesterday, and you were mad about that.
We never agreed not to talk to her.
We didn't agree to it because you were mad about it, right?
Because I want to kill her.
Right.
But apparently...
I feel like we're agreeing here on what happened.
Okay. No. If, like, I assumed you wanted her in the party because she's top of your will not ever harm a hair on her head list, right? Like,
yes.
It's Karlach, your 3 kids, and then everyone else you've ever known or met, right?
Accurate.
I assume I'm right at the bottom of that, apparently. But if you don't even want to talk to her, there's no difference to her being dead. She might as well be dead. If we never go and talk to her, she's just sat on that rock waiting for a bunch of paladins of Tyr to come and murder her.
No, she kicked their asses. She'll win that fight. What are you talking about? She beats them up, and then she goes on her own wonderful magical journey and finds new friends. It'll be fine.
No, she wins that fight because we're there.
No, they fought the first time, and members of the fake Paladin party are dead.
Yeah,
because Karlach killed them,
and she's wounded and had to flee because she was losing. That's the events that led her to the river.
And then when we go confront the Paladin, she immediately kicks everyone's ass and sets the building on fire.
only
She's
if you're winning.
fine.
Only if you're winning and you kill someone. Right? Like, you have to win that fight first. You have to kill the one dude who's like 3 levels above everyone else, and then she goes mad.
Yeah, and she's healthy enough to, again, run around and burn down the entire building.
When
She's
everyone's
fine.
dead. That's not the same thing. It's like, oh...
You're acting like she's mortally wounded by these fake paladins and like barely hanging on.
She is!
And yet she has the strength to tear around an entire inn, setting it on fire.
Because...
mortally wounded people do that all the time.
Mortally wounded tieflings who have been like... had their chest replaced with an infernal engine? Yeah, probably do. Setting things on fire is something she does by touch. She's not like hauling barrels of gasoline.
I feel like you have not been around very many mortally wounded people if you think they have the stamina and the ability to run around an entire building at top speed.
She gets into our party. We have her in a party. The first thing everyone does, the first thing every single person does is throw her a health potion. Right? She's mortally wounded when she's down there. By the time we let her in, she's fine. We heal her.
Does she? How many? I don't remember how much HP she has at that moment.
I don't know. I know she is thematically and narratively wounded. I don't know that her hit points reflect that.
Yeah, because again, the fake paladins from Hell and Karlach fought each other.
And she had to run away and hide.
After she killed multiple people in their party.
But couldn't kill all of them and was wounded and had to run away and hide. What if she could kill all of them? Why did she run away and hide? Why did we?
She needed to regroup. If the paladins could win, why did they ask? Why did they ask us to help them if they had this taken care of? Why are they like, hey, yeah, go take care of that demon. She's evil. Instead of being like, we got this. Don't worry about it, guys. This is easy.
Because they're devils.
She's super dangerous.
Because they're devils. And yes, she's super dangerous. They don't want to die. If they can rope some sucker into doing it, all the better. Who is she regrouping with? You're like, she's running away to regroup with all of her nobody friends that she knows.
It's maybe regroup is the wrong word, but she goes to take a breather, go find some water, clean out a couple stab wounds, classic stuff. I don't know how her biology works.
Imagine her trying to clean
out wounds.
If she put water on her body, it would boil and sizzle away in steam instantly.
So do you think she just like burns away bacteria and stuff?
Probably.
There are some bonuses, I guess. Yeah. Or she just makes it a nice home. Her body is just producing bacteria like crazy all the time. Gross. Anywho. My point is, killing Karlach is not okay. That's it.
I don't understand why it's not okay.
Because it's Karlach.
Right, but there's a canon playthrough where we didn't kill her. Why can't we have one where we do and find out what happens, to Will and his contract, where, he fulfills...
Guess what happens?
What?
Mizora says, good job, and then fucks him over in some way 10 minutes later. Because that's what Mizora is. She's never not trying to screw with Will.
I don't know.
No, you think she's like, well done, Will. I'll stop trying to screw with you for the rest of your life. Good job.
No, obviously not. Maybe she gives him a pat on the head. Maybe she gives him some powers. You don't know. Powers we can exploit in the game.
I guess. I'm still making Will a ranger, though.
Which
I still think is the funniest thing. I'm still just endlessly entertained by the fact that it's like Will's hiding that he's a warlock, and then so you just change him into whatever. And then it turns out it's insanely story relevant that he's warlock. Like more story relevant than anyone else's class in the entire game. Maybe Shadowheart.
Maybe.
But yeah, really. Like the fact that she's a cleric is, you're right. Maybe not. She's just a devotee of Shar. She doesn't have to be a cleric.
Yeah.
So he has the most story relevant, story required class in the entire game. And I was just like, don't need a warlock. We already got one of those.
I mean, maybe his ranger abilities are just gifts from his patron.
Yeah. Maybe he's got to deal with a patron and now he can talk to animals.
He can talk to animals and he can see footprints in the dirt because of
and identify plants.
Yeah,
That's not a thing. We immediately identify every plant that we find in the game.
that's
That's not
true.
really a
Everyone
power.
can do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Immediately from like 8 miles away. It's like, oh, it's a bullywumple trumpet, of course. That
yeah.
really should be like a ranger or a druid ability, shouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
My paladin shouldn't be able to identify every plant from 8 miles away.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. Should have to do a nature check on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so we're doing a different playthrough. How different? We're discussing, but the most amazing thing so far is that we didn't rescue Shadowheart
Mm-hmm.
from inside the Nautiloid.
Mm-hmm. True. And then we didn't meet her on the beach.
And then I was like, I wonder where she is. And the game's like, she's right here. She's being loud. Go talk to her. And we're like, nope.
She is sitting right next to the main thoroughfare in the grove. You can't miss her. She's right here. Please talk to her. She has the plot device in her hands.
She's very obviously holding and examining an interesting object that should get you to go over and talk to her.
Mm-hmm. How much can we ignore her is the new name of the game, I think.
It is, and it's my favorite thing right now.
I kind of want to just like skip the grove and the goblin camp and just like move on to Act 2 as fast as possible.
So here's what I'm thinking. The options here are probably Larian doesn't really have a compunction about just game overing you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple times, and you can make choices that are just like, hey, you're done, start over.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be one of them, where it's like, if you obviously and intentionally ignore these story hooks, then fine. You turned into mind flayers, and the story is over at the end. The absolute wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the other one is they very obviously and ham-fistedly get Shadowheart into our party.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea that everywhere you go, every time you hit like another town, so you hit the Blighted Village, and Shadowheart's just in there, and like with it, sitting there trying to figure it out like it's a Rubik's Cube, and then you stealthily ignore her. You get to like the Goblin camp, and she's in there. She's like, "Hey, I can really use help with this Rubik's Cube of a problem." And then you're like, "Nope, go into the Underdark." And then she's in the Myconoid camp, like, "Hey, I'm keeping up. You could really use some help."
I'm not very good at this. Yeah, this is my favorite thing, because I was telling Samacron in our playthrough, I was like, the game is very much early on saying, oh no, you have to deal with this mind tadpole. And the first time you play through, you're like, yes, I must. This is terrible. But after your first playthrough, when it's really not a problem at all in any way, you're like, it loses its eminency in the second playthrough.
Yeah, it does. It does a little.
Yeah, which is a bummer, but hey.
Yeah, well, I mean, nothing's perfect. Especially perfect like the third time around or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was playing my playthrough and our playthrough simultaneously, so like it's technically the third, but I didn't have late game knowledge of what was happening generally through our playthrough.
Except for like the very end of the game.
Yes. By that point, I had played all weekend and had finished it, and then I knew a bunch of stuff. And I tried not to spoil it. We made some choices. We can make different ones in this playthrough. That could be interesting. So, yeah.
I mean, there is kind of a problem where like we've elected not to take Lae'zel, but I feel like Lae'zel is the interesting one to have if we want to free Orpheus. Oh, spoilers, by the way, for everything for the game. You should just people in chat and listening, watching. Like,
yeah, well, yeah,
and
she'd be the most interesting character to see her reaction to freeing Orpheus, absolutely, because she's the one that's rambling on about it consistently.
Like he's very important to her race and their culture and whatnot. So,
yeah, and I mean, she gets to a point in our playthrough anyway where she's like, "I've devoted myself to Prince Orpheus," and we're like, "This is kind of fast, Lae'zel."
And then
she does. And then we're like, not freeing Orpheus. And she's like, what?
Not only are we not freeing Orpheus, I'm going to drink his brain.
Yeah. And then Samacron ate his brain. was tough. It was a tough moment for Lae'zel.
Uh-huh. It was...
But as we kept saying, like, look, Lae'zel, I understand you want to free your people, but if everyone's dead, it doesn't matter.
That is slightly less.
Yeah. It was tough. And then what's his face? Voss. Same thing. He's like, you didn't free Orpheus. And we're like, dude, honestly, higher priorities here. I know this is everything to you, but there needs to be something better.
I mean, they're just of the opinion that a free Orpheus could deal with this problem basically by himself. And that had we freed him, like, everyone would just be fine. It's like, sure.
Well, but... No, you're right, but the way they present it is the Githyanki people will be free with Orpheus. It's not.
No, it's not.
All of Faerun will be free.
It's not even that. It's if you free Orpheus, there will be a Githyanki civil war, and he is just the true ruler, and then his people will be free.
Yeah,
whatever of them is left alive.
Yeah,
but they're also coming from the opinion that this is a Mind Flayer threat. Here we have the anti-Mind Flayer king. Let's just break him out, you know?
Right, and then defeat all the Mind Flayers at once.
Mm-hmm, basically.
So I don't know. We'll probably give that a shot here this next time. It's just weird that the Emperor, if you're like, we're going to free Orpheus, he's like, I'm going to bail if you do that. And it's like, like part of me understands that you're literally a Mind Flayer. And Orpheus might just want to stab you in the face.
It's true.
But like still, like stick around, keep a safe distance, keep helping us as we try to use Orpheus to destroy the Mind Flayer threat. I don't know.
I don't know. He's like, do you think if you try to break out Orpheus, he actively tries to stop you, or is just passively like, I'm out? Like I'll like
bails.
Okay. I reckon he like tries to kill you. I think he can use Orpheus's power to like free another true soul and be like, hey, I need you to do some shit for me, and just like start the process over again for a little bit. Like he would have to like get someone who's powerful, you know, because part of being the player character is that you're just strong. Getting like the level 3 goblin priestess or whatever back at the goblin camp in Act 1 is probably not going to do it when like Gortash is in the city raising the steel watch and all that, you know?
Yeah.
So he's probably a little out on options, but I reckon he probably just tries to do it again.
Kind of running out of time, though.
Kind of.
Anyway. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
It's been good. I like how, too, we got party wiped for the first time, and Summercon immediately, without discussing this, puts us on easy, which was hilarious. Because we load back in, and I'm like, I have like 48 HP.
Yeah, we went from having like 12 HP each to 40. It's like, this doesn't make sense. I did not realize that HP was determined by difficulty.
Me neither.
Apparently, there's like a constitution bonus for your HP based on difficulty. Had no idea.
Right. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't think about it at all. No.
Yeah. So at the moment we're back on what we were playing, and we can turn it back up if you want. I really worry about turning every fight into a slog of like, we need to examine every angle perfectly and look at all of our resources and micromanage every fight rather than just enjoying it. Right? Because in D&D kind of, I don't want to say D&D lore because it's not that, but just like fandom, the ranger is kind of a shit class. Like your bonuses are like, you have a favored terrain and you get advantage when you're on that terrain. So if you picked ice and then your campaign isn't set in ice, you're just fucked, right?
Right.
And like your shtick for melee, for combat is ranged attacks, but like the rogue is just way better in every way for that, you know? So
yeah.
We're not going to metagame and try and get like the best powerhouse characters we can. We're still just gonna have fun with it and play what we want, which I don't think is necessarily going to work on tactician difficulty, which is the hardest. Yeah. When I played my solo campaign on tactician difficulty, I started as Lae'zel, And because Lae'zel's a Githyanki, you can't befriend Shadowheart, right? Like, it's very difficult. You have to, like, nail a roll. And if you don't do it, when you wake up from the crashed Nautiloid, Shadowheart might just try to kill you, right?
Right.
And when you go up into the wreckage, there's 3 intellect devourers who can kill you because you're by yourself and you're just fucked if you're trying to play
You're
solo.
outnumbered terribly.
Yeah. So that's where I got my first party wipe. That's
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially early. Like that's when the game is harder. It feels like it does get easier as the game goes on. I guess assuming you know what you're doing, I guess. Like I guess you could just put all of your all of your points into intelligence when you're trying to shoot a bow, but
yeah, that is true. You could try to do that. That'd be pretty stupid, but you could try to do that.
Yeah, the game will let you do that, I think.
It will. The game also
That'd be funny if they're like, so for the past 3 levels, you've been putting points into intelligence. You're not using intelligence. Do you want to keep doing this?
You're a barbarian.
Yeah. Are you trying to roleplay as some kind of smart barbarian? This is a terrible idea.
You can do a not dumb barbarian at least, like, but I don't know that you can do a intellect as your main stat for that.
Right. Yeah. Definitely not.
You're a wizard who casts fist as a spell.
Anyway, it's been fun. What a great game. Game of the year.
Yeah, probably. I can't even think of like what else has come out this year that's remotely close.
Right? Because Elden Ring was last year. That could. Oh my gosh, February 2022.
Ages ago. That was like a century ago.
I have no sense of time at all.
I mean, that was last year. You were still right.
I was thinking like late last year, like November maybe. Not even close. Diablo 4, Resident Evil 4.
Diablo 4 is getting a game of the year.
Right. Starfield. No.
I mean, Starfield's annoying because, like, on the one hand, it's like what people expected, and that's either great or terrible, depending on who you are. But I keep, on some of the podcasts I'm listening to that aren't really game podcasts, they brought it up that, oh, we've been playing this game, and it's great. They absolutely love it. And I'm like, how? How do you absolutely love this game? I've been playing
Please explain.
And I just can't, like, they're just talking about how the worlds feel so immersive, and, like, the populated zones are just really great, and there's characters and story everywhere, and you can really just get lost in this world. And I'm like, how? What game are you playing?
Playing the game where somebody sends you some money and you say nice things about their game.
Maybe, but like...
Maybe.
You have to declare that shit now, usually.
Yeah.
In theory, you're supposed to, but, you know, this is a big enough podcast that they would have to. Like, they wouldn't get away with it, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. Or, if you don't say nice things about our game, you don't get to review our next game. Like, that's another thing that happens.
And that's true. But again, this is not a game review podcast, and it was like a 4-minute segment in an hour. You know?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. I'm looking at
Probably
games that came out this year.
Hogwarts Legacy.
The Dead Space remake, I hear, is really good. But
Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Yeah, right? Redfall. Redfall was a mess.
Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. PC release
Final
this year.
Fantasy 16.
Oh, yeah. Final Fantasy 16 is probably up there as a game.
There you go.
I mean, I
found one.
It's a console release only, and so Baldur's Gate's gonna, like, smash it, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, just get more votes if you're on all of the platforms.
Yeah. Forspoken.
That feels like it came out last year. Man, I
think it came out in January. That's why.
Yeah. I'm running out of games here. There are some games that still could come out. It's only September.
That's true. What else is coming out though?
Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Meh.
Yeah, right. Another side-scrolling Super Mario game. Okay.
Bovine's line.
Uh,
Elden Ring came out February of last year. So
right.
not
Not even close to this year. I
yeah.
thought it was close to this year. It was not.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, feeling like Baldur's Gate probably has this in the bag.
Ooh, Space Marine 2. That could be a good game.
When's that supposed to come out?
October, I think.
Okay. Soon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Soon.
As long as it doesn't get delayed or something into next year, that'd be great.
Yeah. I guess speaking of delays, the Writers Guild strike, they came to terms yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So they've agreed and they're going to start work soon. I'm assuming the Screen Actors Guild is going to come in next because I think they only went on strike in solidarity with the Writers Guild. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Like the Writers Guild went and the Screen Actors were like, well, we don't really have major concerns right now, but we're buddies with these guys. So we're going to go on strike too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so they should come out. So yeah, so maybe like Dune 2 won't be delayed as much as I was worried it would be. That'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, Dune 2 is already like trailering and whatnot. So I'm like, how much of this
Yeah,
movie's already shot and written and like
right.
is it just like union rules that if like actors in a property are on strike, you can't release it because they're on strike, or there's like just some
No.
I don't understand why that would get delayed because of it. Filming's done, you know, or is it just like
Yeah,
did they just like at the last minute, a day before the strike happened, decide there needed to be some reshoots, and they're like,
right.
ah, fuck.
I do think the writing process goes deeper into the whole production than most people think it does.
Okay.
I think they're rewriting scenes and reshooting scenes even after like trailers are out for it.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Like,
yeah.
what was it? It was Suicide Squad, the first one. Apparently,
Yeah.
they shot something like 160 hours of footage for that movie, and then they cut and wrote it at the same time. Basically, they were just like
Oh,
looking at things that worked and what didn't.
that explains how that movie feels the way it does. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie? It doesn't seem like a movie you would watch.
I've watched YouTube videos about that movie.
Fair enough.
Probably 2 hours of videos about Suicide Squad.
There we go. That I believe.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, even a movie like Dune 2, which maybe has a bit of a less troubled production schedule,
Mm-hmm.
they might still be in the weeks leading up to release doing rewrites and reshoots,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
to me feels bleh. I don't like that.
I think that's a pretty common thing. I think it happens on a ton of movies. It could be, it might not even be the principal photography. It could be the second unit doing reshoots. And so, you know, stuff like that. Like, the movies get reshoots all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
True.
I'm just not worried. Like, it's not something that really raises a red flag. If it's getting like months and months and months of reshoots, okay, then you can get nervous. But I mean, it's Dune. They're not going to fuck up a Dune movie, are they?
Oh my gosh, it's a miracle they didn't fuck up the first Dune movie. Like, I am still on pins and needles about part 2 and part 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It is so hard to adapt Dune to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
The first 3 attempts were bad.
But they're still making attempts. That's the important bit.
Well, because Dune's like the most influential piece of, work for science fiction and fantasy
Mm-hmm.
in the last 40 years, like since Tolkien at least.
Mm-hmm. It's up there for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we don't
Undoubtedly.
have Star Wars if Dune doesn't exist.
It's true. Yeah. Yep.
Pretty guaranteed.
I'll,
Anywho.
I'll believe it.
Yep.
I should really get
So,
around
yeah.
to reading those.
I don't know. It's different, man. The way that it blends hard sci-fi with fantastical, mystical elements is just
Mm-hmm.
no one else does it like that. It's very weird.
Fair enough.
Star Wars comes close, but it's just not the same.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Anyway, speaking of Star Wars,
Oh.
So a new episode of Ahsoka came out last week.
Tell me all about it.
It was pretty good. So it is the episode that brings us Grand Admiral Thrawn to live action, which a lot of people have been waiting for. And a lot of people are like, man, episode 6 is kind of late to bring in Thrawn, but oh well.
6 out of
8.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, the other thing is, he's going to be in future Star Wars projects. So it's not like he's the big bad for the Ahsoka show and then he will be defeated. It's like, no, he's going to be around. There's a movie we're planning with him and we're going to put him in other shows and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, the more I've thought about this episode, one of the big things about this concept they're dealing with is that it's been 10 years since Ezra teleported himself and Thrawn to another galaxy to keep Thrawn from conquering the Star Wars galaxy, right?
Right.
So these people show up, and it's been 10 years, and it's just like, that is a long time. And I just didn't get a sense that it had been 10 years.
Thrawn was still wearing his Imperial uniform and it was still clean.
Yes.
He was really.
No, he's wearing the uniform, but there's a couple tears in it and some smudges.
Okay.
And he's gained a little bit of weight. He's a little pudgy.
Okay.
But he's trying to hold on to that as much as he can, right? He's still got a military haircut going on. It's very tight, very high. He's still, got his men lined up. He's still imposing
galactic lore.
I don't know. I just didn't. Yeah, and they did a lot of good stuff to give us the sense of the passage of time. Like his Star Destroyer that was teleported with him when Ezra did the space whale stuff. It's got chunks missing. It's got places where obviously repairs have happened. But I mean, obviously not by an Imperial shipyard because where are they? Who knows what are they mixing cement to fix holes in the ship? I don't even know. It just looks like it's been beaten to hell and they've tried to fix it as best they can. And then all of his troopers, their armor and their helmets are cracked. They look like they've just been through hell.
Okay.
But then there's stuff so Sabine betrays everybody, right?
Okay.
And gives the map to the people who are trying to find Thrawn, so they bring her with them.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, fine, we're going to keep our promise to you. You helped us get Thrawn, so we're going to let you go try to find Ezra. Deal.
Okay.
So they give her whatever passes for a horse out here. It's like a giant dog, kind of.
Okay.
And then she rides for, I don't know, a day maybe.
Hey, there's Ezra.
It's Ezra! And I'm like, wait! Ezra's been hanging out in this it's some alien turtle stuff going on, whatever. It's very Star Wars. A day's ride from Thrawn, and at no point is Thrawn like, let's go take him down.
I mean, does Thrawn care about this kid? What's Ezra got that Thrawn needs?
Right. And that's a great point. It's not that capturing him would do anything for him. But as far as him being someone who is very willing to put himself on the line to take Thrawn down, as evidenced, he's pretty dangerous to your future plans, right?
Sure, okay.
And I feel like, what's Ezra been doing for 10 years? He's hanging out, I guess, with these turtle aliens and growing a beard.
He's old enough to do that now.
Yeah, because it's been 10 years.
Yeah. Is he still Jedi in training?
I guess. He doesn't have a lightsaber.
Okay.
Maybe he's been communing with the Force every day for the last 10 years.
Maybe.
I don't know. And then Sabine shows up and maybe it's just me, but if there's someone I was really close with that I got separated from violently for 10 years and I found them again, my reaction wouldn't be like,
oh, hey, Ezra.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Yeah. Hi, Mark. Been a minute. Yeah, sure has. It's like, what? Show some emotion. What is going on? What is wrong with you?
React, damn it.
Yes.
Wow, that's they. How old is Sabine? I don't know what this character looks like, but how old do we put them?
26, 27?
Are they both still like, oh my god, I haven't seen this since I was an awkward, dumb teenager. Let's just try and play it cool. Play it cool. And they're both going for like the
Right?
cool cowboy in the Old West movies where it's just like, hey.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I mean, that's I mean, there's no other word for it. That's cringe. But you know.
Yeah.
They
But
they should
moderately believable.
They should have been through enough that like grow up and just be like happy to see your friend, maybe.
Yeah. And I mean, after they do this like 15 feet apart, like, hey, what's up thing, then like, oh, they hug and it's nice. But like, I don't know. I didn't feel any emotion in it. It's weird. It's weird. And I don't know that it's an acting thing. I feel like this actress who's playing Sabine did her best job of the whole series so far. And I felt like the actor playing Ezra did fine. Like I think he was pretty good, but there's just nothing there. It's weird.
Maybe the two actors just don't have any chemistry.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
They're just incapable of playing off each other on screen, and like they're like, all right, I guess this is what it is. We've done 19 takes this week, and I'm not like we're not resetting the lighting one more time. We're not doing it either. just roll with it. I'm not Stanley Kubrick. Yeah. We're not going to be here for another month. Like
right.
Just
right. Yeah, and I mean I think most directors are like, we're not Stanley Kubrick out here. We're not gonna do 87 takes of the same scene and drive our actors insane.
Right.
Yeah. So then the other interesting thing about that meeting is that so Ezra has basically chosen to sacrifice himself to stop Thrawn.
Okay.
And to make sure that Thrawn never harms the people he loves, right?
Sure.
It's this big decision he makes. And then Sabine eventually undoes all of that and has given Thrawn the means to return to the galaxy and enslave and conquer all of the people that Ezra cares about.
Did she have a good reason for doing this?
Because she missed Ezra. It's tough.
What the fuck?
Tough.
Okay. She misses Ezra. She finds Ezra. Ezra has devoted the last 10 years and whatever for like making sure a space Hitler can't get back to his space empire. And she's like, hey, I've got you and I missed you. I'm going to give Space Hitler the space warp drive to get back to his space empire.
Yes.
I missed you.
Yeah. And he's like, very obviously, how'd you get here? This is crazy. And she's like, I don't want to talk about that. And he's like, okay, that's very weird.
Oh, okay. So she gives it to him before she reunites with Ezra, right? Like she is like, I'm going to make a deal with the devil because I miss this guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's still not good.
It's not great. So the problem here for storytelling purposes in the Star Wars universe is, this is a point made on a podcast that I listened to. It's tough from a Star Wars storytelling perspective to be like, Sabine made a choice because she loves Ezra and he's her friend. And she wanted to save him. And for the story to be like, and then she fucked the entire galaxy is like, it's just from a Star Wars perspective, making a choice about friendship and love is good. And it always turns out good. Right. It can't be the decision that causes immense destruction and death down the road, right?
Right. It's hard. Like, Star Wars doesn't go in for the moral that, like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Right. Other stories, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. But not Star Wars.
Like, even at, like, the climax of, like, Revenge of the Sith, where they're like, this is the way, like, democracy dies. It was not good intentions. It was, let's empower people on the edge of losing a war who feel like they can get control of their galaxy again, right? Like,
Right.
uh, like this is not something Star Wars has really dabbled in.
No.
Well, except for maybe with Anakin going to the dark side, because he's like, I want to be able to save my dying wife. I've had visions of her dying, and I need to be able to save her. So maybe.
But he wants the power to save her. He wants personal power for that.
That is true.
It's similar. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But Sabine's motivation is not, I want the power to save Ezra. It's just, I just want to save him.
I just want to go.
This doesn't benefit me in any way except that I'm with Ezra again.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm just curious to see how the show works with this. Because I feel like there's a decent chance they're like, we need a way to get Thrawn back. Here's a scenario we've written. It's kind of like it takes Sabine to this dark place. She makes a decision that gets Thrawn back, but she gets to see Ezra, and they don't think about it as much. And they just never address it, right?
My money would be on that they never address it. What I would want them to do is probably go the route that they did with the guy in Rogue One who develops the Death Star, who's just like, they kind of throw it out there that Thrawn is basically, he is capable of getting back to the galaxy, but it would have just taken him longer. Like they played like, oh, they would have figured out how to build the Death Star eventually without me. But by coming to this other galaxy and giving it to them, I can also get Ezra back, and that'll be an asset in defeating them later again. That's probably what they should do.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, that'd be a smarter way to do it for a Star Wars story.
Yeah, but my money says they just don't mention it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Thrawn gets back. Oh no, a war starts. And then Ezra and Sabine get saved. And then we got to stop Thrawn now. And no one's like, Sabine, you colossal idiot. Right? Maybe. I don't know. They're having a couple discussions where Ahsoka's like, I know what she did. And she is back because of Thrawn. So maybe they do address it. Ahsoka's been pretty pointedly talking about it a little bit recently. Maybe. So the comparison that came to mind when I was thinking about this is Captain America in Infinity War.
Captain America in Infinity War.
He makes the decision to not give up Vision because we don't trade lives.
Well, 1930s Captain America decides to trade a bunch of African lives, but yeah.
He sure does, but he says we don't trade lives.
Yeah.
And as a result, Thanos snaps half the galaxy and wins. That was a good, morally motivated choice that he made. And everything was fucked.
Yeah.
And then the movies are like, then time travel fixed it. But nobody's like, Cap, you colossal idiot. What did you do? They're like, no, man, it was the moral right choice. We don't trade lives. You were right, man.
Do you know, I mean, here's the thing. I love Infinity War and Endgame as movies, but like you can really poke holes in it like that. It occurs to me just now, it's like you have time travel and space travel. Why not time travel until after Thanos in this other universe has it, and then just take all the stones there? You don't need this like 12-stage heist movie that is really fun. I love the heists. I love heist
The
movies.
motivation was we want to take a trip down memory lane and look at all of our movies we made before this one and see how we got here, and it's really adorable.
That is true, and it is all those things. It is absolutely their victory lap, and I'll, you know what, they earned that. They
did.
I'll grant that to them, but like Cap would have totally been like just the I don't know, because like if you can bring everyone back and it's no issue to not trade lives and you can just like undo everything, then taking that stand is, I don't know, great, but you have to be confident that you can do that before you make the stand, not after, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So it came up because Disney owns both Marvel and Star Wars.
uh-huh.
And Marvel and Star Wars both are kind of in the same morality is good. We're not going to go too dark with anything ever. We're not going to really do the anti-hero thing all that much.
Right.
Right? Good
It
decisions lead to good outcomes every time.
Good decisions, good outcomes. Heroes learning lessons about who they are,
Yeah.
and like the violence is all fairly sanitized. Nobody's
Yeah.
like the scene that came to mind is like the stabbing scene in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's none of that going on.
No.
Not that
And
I
the
can think of.
closest they get is maybe Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight's up there because it's rated R. If you wanted to include Deadpool, then sure, but that's
Nah, Deadpool's not a Disney. Disney did not create Deadpool. Fox did.
yeah. I mean that's true, but like Deadpool's on Disney Plus now, right? And they're making the
It
third
is.
one. Right.
It is, but I don't. The third one will be a Disney property, and I'm very curious to see what they do with that.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
they try to sanitize Deadpool, I think there will be riots. Like you
I
just can't do it. If you can't do Deadpool right, give it away. Give it to somebody else who will do it right.
I hear Tom Holland's on board for the Spider-Man Deadpool.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Holy crap, I would watch that. I would watch that.
I would watch
Spider-Man Deadpool stuff in the comics is incredible. It's so fun.
that. I haven't read enough of the comics. The only comics I think
Oh.
I've read with Spider-Man and Deadpool is Deadpool Kills the Universe. Where,
Right, which isn't really a Deadpool and Spider-Man story.
well, they share a couple of pages,
Mm-hmm.
and then Deadpool shares the sidewalk with
Right.
with himself.
Right, because that's the point of the whole story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, just point is for storytelling purposes, it's interesting to have your one of your main good characters make a good moral choice that leads to immense death and destruction on a wide scale forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because then the lesson is you shouldn't have done that, stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, Cap's doing his best to make amends. He's like in therapy programs, being like, "We can see whales in the Hudson now." Isn't that nice?
Great. Everyone's ultra depressed. Society is sort of collapsed. Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
And then I still think returning everybody killed
Also,
so many people.
it had to.
It did.
Like, oh god, I kind of want them to have like in just one of the shows to like
Just
be like,
one.
hey, we're gonna do a this isn't what you want, but it's what I want, which is look. Thor 2 was all about this Infinity Stone. This movie was all about that one. We're going to have a TV show that is about the Soul Stone and how it's got a comedic sense of timing, right? And that is why in Spider-Man, the band comes back while there's a basketball game going on. But that's
Right.
it. Other than that, it's got a comedic sense of timing. But other than that, it lands people that were in planes. They put them on the ground. They're all nice and safe. People in cars on the sidewalk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Just do that. Just be like Banner when he did the Iron Man.
No,
Banner.
Banner.
It was Banner.
It was
Banner
Professor
when he
Hulk.
reverse snapped. He had all the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, and he said, "Bring everybody back and let's keep them alive."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
You still have the problem of people who like mourned the death of their spouse and remarried and had kids, and he's back or she's back. Like that screws things up.
Oh yeah.
But nobody died.
Well,
Okay.
Thank God every country in the world has the mental health facilities to really handle that kind of a traumatic
No
intake.
country does. Even the ones that are good at mental health don't have it.
Yes, thank you for noticing
That's
my
the joke.
sarcasm.
Yes. I thought you were making an America joke.
I considered making it about America because so much of those stories are America, like so much of those movies are America centric. But then I realized everywhere would be fucked, right?
Correct.
Yes,
That was a real time thought process you went through there. Yeah.
mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
always real time thought process.
But again, yes, but that's all I want. I either be like there was terrible death and destruction, but by golly, we got most people back, or it was a miracle.
Right.
Nobody died. Everything was awesome. There was a lot of stuff to work through on government levels and societal levels and relationship levels, but that, nobody died.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I want. They could do that. Just have a conversation.
Uh-huh.
Just have Monica Rambeau be like, man, it sure is miraculous that everyone that came back, nobody died during that process. And then someone else is like, yeah, that was amazing. Moving on.
Yeah, it's nutty. I'm just thinking about all the people who came back while they were like on the toilet, and then they come back and there's someone else on the toilet.
Right.
Who gets to go first?
That's the basic thing. Like, we show Monica Rambeau get reformed from dust in a chair in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
What if someone was sitting in that chair?
What if that chair had been moved in 5 years?
Right. What if there is no chair? Like, it answers all of these questions. I mean, it doesn't answer the questions. It begs the questions.
Yes, yeah.
And then it's just like, are we interested at all in discussing this? No.
I'm just like, what if someone was on like an operating table, and then you come back and you're on an operating table, but there's no one there. So you just bleed out alone in the hospital.
Infinite. Mm-hmm. They shut down hospitals because there's half the population remaining.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you were in a hospital getting treatment, 50-50, you come back to
an empty room.
Or a demolished building, right? Maybe? Like
renovated condos or something.
Yeah, it's a Starbucks now. But that's the problem, right? Is that there's a million to account for, and the writers are just like
not gonna do it.
No, we're not at all touching this.
No. But this tromboner sure did get a basketball to the face. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that was great.
Good times.
Still talking about you, Marvel. You're not dead yet.
Mm-hmm. Not dead yet.
What's their next thing?
That's an excellent question. What is next?
Oh, the Marvels is next. That's right.
The Marvels?
The Marvels with baby Captain Marvel and white girl Captain Marvel and black lady Captain Marvel.
The fuck is the Marvels?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Captain Marvel, but like a team up with other Marvels?
Yes.
It's not. What was? Oh, the Eternals. That's what I thought you were. I thought. Okay, yeah, no, it's not that.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Like they're doing the Eternals again. I didn't think that went well. But no, okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that.
No, I don't think it's do very well.
Mm-hmm.
What's after that? Echo season 1.
Also not interested.
No, they didn't do enough in Daredevil to be like, I'm super compelled by this Echo character. What else happens with her? Like, they just didn't do it.
Echo was in Hawkeye.
Sorry, Hawkeye. Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, I didn't care. I liked the Hawkeye show. It was good once. I'm not really interested in rewatching it, but it was enjoyable.
It was fine.
It had some neat gimmicks and some fun action and some good character moments, but it's very mid.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just middle of the road.
Agreed. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. That's fine. Then we get an Ironheart Disney Plus TV show.
What is that? Like, do we know anything?
Ironheart in Wakanda Forever.
I haven't seen Wakanda.
The like 18-year-old next Tony Stark genius. She builds her own Iron Man suit.
Oh, she does? Is she also a billionaire to be able to afford everything?
No, they don't really care about that stuff.
Okay.
We have a new Iron Man. Then there's an Agatha series from WandaVision. Agatha Harkness is back.
Mm-hmm. I've got a list of upcoming films. What is Captain America: Brave New World?
That is Falcon's Captain America movie.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Also, they've had problems naming that one.
Have they?
Yeah. What did they want to name it first? And everybody was like, no. Hang on.
America, the Middle Passage.
Oh, it was New World Order.
New World Order. Okay, yeah.
Wait, is that what it's called now? And it was called Brave New World before? No.
No, I think
No.
Can't be.
No. So it's Brave New World now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was previously announced as New World Order, and everyone was like, no thanks.
Is there a trailer for this already?
Not that I've seen.
Because like I just googled for it, and it looks like there's a trailer, or it's like a fan trailer or something. Because it's on Trailer Spot and Film Spot trailer and Strider HD, whatever those channels are. And it's all
Right.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to give spoilers, but like I hope that's not real. Like what I'm looking at in the thumbnail.
Yeah, no. I imagine they just took clips from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
No. This is not a character that was in the Winter Soldier.
Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you don't care about spoilers, I'll say it, but I think you do for this
Go
character.
ahead.
It's a Red Hulk.
Oh.
And it's Harrison Ford's face, like, really badly CGI'd onto it.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah,
I hope that's not real.
I hope that's not real.
Oh, that's horrific. Why did
Mhm.
they drag Harrison Ford into this?
It's an excellent question.
Daredevil's back. I'm interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Deadpool 3 next year.
Next year?
Yeah. May.
Ugh. Sooner, please.
Yeah. And then Thunderbolts, which is their kind of anti-hero movie concept.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they're bringing in Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and nobody remembers her, but she's in this.
I vaguely remember her, but I watched that movie recently.
There you go. Red Guardian, David Harbour's character from the Black Widow movie that should have come out, 10 years ago and didn't.
Yeah. I'm glad it finally came out.
Yeah, I think David Harbour's great. He was fine. Florence Pugh is back as Yelena Belova, Scarlet Witch's sister. She's fantastic.
She's okay.
I like her a lot. Bucky Barnes as Winter Soldier's back. U.S. Agent, the guy who murdered that dude with the Captain America shield and Falcon and the Winter Soldier is in this.
Mm-hmm. The one bit of that show that I remember.
Yes. And then Taskmaster, who is kind of a wasted character in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, he's in the Black Widow movie.
She.
Oh, Taskmaster's
they gender swapped him. Yeah. But yes.
I don't remember Taskmaster in that movie. But...
So at the beginning of the film, Black Widow's like getting pizza or something, and then Taskmaster hits her SUV with a grenade launcher, and then they fight on this bridge.
I remember the car exploding, and Black Widow should have been dying.
Yes, that's it. Then you remember the scene.
I'll have to rewatch that at some point.
Yeah. Anywho, I don't know. Again, I love some of the people involved in this, but I don't know if it knows what it wants to be, and I don't know if Disney can do anti-hero well.
Yeah, I mean, all I can hope is that they pull in people who wrote Logan or directed Logan movie.
Yeah,
because that's at least a character that's related tangentially to these characters. Same universe kind of stuff, just made by different people at a different time.
Yeah,
and look at their notes. That's all I can hope for, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Deadpool's first. So if they can nail the tone of Deadpool, then I think they could probably pull off what they're trying to do with Thunderbolts, but
maybe.
Yeah, how much of the Deadpool movies is just Ryan Reynolds being like, here's how we're doing it? Because it sure seems like he loves Deadpool more than anybody in. understands the character on a level that no one else does.
Yeah.
And the directors are like, cool thing, Ryan. We'll do what you want. You know what I mean?
Is he listed as an executive producer? Like,
I mean, he should be.
he should be.
Because I love that story where they did he steal the Deadpool costume from this X-Men movie where it was terrible?
X-Men Origins?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
He stole a Deadpool costume from one of these movies.
He is listed as a producer. So yeah, he probably has a ton of like sway in like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it works. I give Ryan Reynolds full credit for all of that.
Fair enough.
Anyway. Anywho, writer strike is over. We're going to get stuff. Hooray.
Yay. Cool.
Yep. How do we? Oh, Ahsoka. That's right. So just back to Ahsoka for 2 seconds. Balin and Shin, the like gray Jedi, continue to be the most compelling characters on the entire show. And it makes me so sad that the actor who's playing Balin is dead and like he can't do any more of this because he is incredible.
I felt the same way about Grand Moff Tarkin, but you know.
Holy crap. You're right. They CGI resurrect Ray Stevens and have him do Balin for all time.
All of Disney's new like acting contracts have an in perpetuity clause if you die.
Well, I think that's part of what the Screen Actors Guild was striking about. Was they didn't want that.
Really?
Yep. We don't want you to use our likeness
if we die. Yeah.
Or if you don't hire us, you're using our likeness in a TV show and we're not getting paid. Like, no, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have just imagined that if you were going to do that, you would still need like permission from the estate or something, right? But
yeah, I thought so too. But they were very worried about this.
Maybe they're like we just really want to formalize some rules for the the people who do want it, people who don't, and giving them that option, rather than just like, well, that person's dead and we don't know what they do,
Right.
Fair
anyway,
enough.
So yeah, there's this whole storyline. Balin is like, he wanted to come to this other galaxy because he's been hearing something calling him.
Okay.
Which has some concerning connections to other stories where this has happened, and that's never a good thing. When some unknown power is like, hey, come free me and I'll help you out. Like, that never goes well.
I'll give you power.
Yeah.
Your enemies will be ash on the wind.
Yeah. You just go through fiction. That never ends well for the person who can hear the voice. That's it.
Sure. Yeah.
So poor Balin, he hasn't read any books, I guess. So I think that's what happens, is he like ends up trying, or he releases some great evil and like dies in the process. And it's like, oh no, the evil's been on. Rest in peace, Balin. You screwed up real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might be what they do here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to hearing more of it secondhand.
Yes. It's the best way to experience the show, I think.
You might not be wrong. Depending on how it ends, you might not be wrong.
I'll save you some time. All right, cool. We're going to wrap it up.
Play
some Baldur's Gate.
Let's play some Baldur's Gate.
All right, cool. So we'll be here playing some Baldur's Gate after the pod wraps up. But to wrap it up, thanks everyone for hanging out. We're at twitch.tv/Somicron. Also, the VODs end up over at youtube.com/@Somicron as well. You can support the podcast at patreon.com/Somicron and falconpaladin.store if you want to do that. So
it's true.
Thanks again for being here. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next week about the same time. And yeah, stick around for some Baldur's Gate.
Bye.